Hello, and welcome to this exploration of one of the most intriguing questions humanity has ever asked. What is reality? Tonight, we're not just talking about what we see or touch, but about the deeper layers of existence, how our minds interpret the world, how light and matter shape what we perceive, and how consciousness itself plays a role in the reality we experience. As we journey through this fascinating topic, you'll discover insights from physics, neuroscience, and philosophy, all woven together to help you see the world and yourself in a new light. You'll learn how perception and awareness create the boundaries of what we call reality, and why sometimes what feels real is only part of the story. If you're excited to unravel these mysteries with us, don't forget to like this video, to show your support, and subscribe to our channel for more explorations that mix science, curiosity, and wonder. We love hearing your thoughts, so please leave a comment sharing what you think reality truly is, or which part of today's journey fascinated you the most. Your engagement helps us grow this community of curious minds, where every question is welcomed, every perspective is valued, and every discovery is shared. So get comfortable, open your mind, and let's dive gently into the question, what is reality? Together, we'll explore, reflect, and awaken a sense of wonder that stays with you long after the video ends. You begin by closing your eyes and feeling the world slip into quiet. Reality, as you know it, is woven from tiny flickers of sensation. Your mind interprets light, sound, and touch, yet what you perceive is only a whisper of what truly exists. Tonight, we trace the delicate boundary between perception and existence. Listening to the subtle symphony of your senses, you close your eyes and take a deep, unhurried breath, feeling the gentle weight of your body against the surface beneath. Your limbs relax, each muscle releasing the subtle tension that has accumulated throughout the day. In this quiet, you begin to notice the faint rhythms of your own existence, the rise and fall of your chest, the soft pulse in your wrists, the almost imperceptible hum of your heartbeat echoing within your chest like a distant drum. Even in stillness, life vibrates, and your perception, delicate as a spider's thread, is waiting to catch these subtle signals. Out there, beyond your skin, the world continues in motion, though your awareness need not chase it. Light spills through the window, filtered by the shifting leaves outside, and brushes across your eyelids, even though your eyes remain closed. Your mind interprets these hints, constructing shapes and shadows behind your eyelids, forming impressions of trees swaying or clouds drifting lazily across a vast sky. Every color, every shadow, every flicker of movement that you perceive, a story your brain writes from the faint signals it receives. You begin to understand that what you call reality is not the world itself, but the world interpreted, a painting of sensation on the canvas of your consciousness. The gentle whisper of a breeze reaches your ears, and you notice how sound bends and dances before it reaches your awareness. A car passes far away, its engine a low hum fading into distance. Somewhere, a bird chirps, a fleeting punctuation in the otherwise quiet night. Your ears translate these vibrations into meaning, and yet, just as with sight, what you perceive is not the true sound, but your mind's understanding of it. Each sensation is a filtered reflection, a soft echo of something that exists independently, but is refracted through your personal lens. Even touch, the most intimate of senses, is a complex dance of signals. Your fingertips rest lightly on your blanket, and nerve endings translate pressure into the experience of softness or warmth. You imagine the chain of atoms beneath your skin, vibrating subtly, and feel a quiet awe at the precision of your perception. Tiny sensors, microscopic and intricate, transmit these details. Yet what you experience as comfort or texture is not the raw atoms themselves, but a perception sculpted by your nervous system. reality, you realize, is co-authored by your mind, and it begins at the boundary between the inner world of sensation and the outer world of matter. In this meditative space, you can explore the delicate bridge that connects perception to existence. It is neither a solid wall nor an impenetrable barrier. Instead, it is more like morning mist over a quiet lake. You see shapes and forms, but the details are softened, fluid, and open to interpretation. Your awareness floats over this surface, catching hints of light, shadow, and sound, while knowing that beneath it all lies a vast, intricate reality, far richer and stranger than your senses could ever fully reveal. You are simultaneously present and observer, grounded in your body while reaching toward the infinite subtlety of existence. As you linger in this awareness, you begin to sense how perception is selective. Your mind focuses, almost instinctively, on certain stimuli while letting others pass unnoticed. A distant hum, the brush of fabric against your skin, the faint scent of evening air. Some details become vivid, others fade into the background. Your consciousness curates reality, choosing what to highlight and what to soften, creating a symphony of awareness in which each note is carefully chosen. The world, in this sense, is as much a product of your focus as it is an independent presence. Outside you, consider how the brain reconstructs the visual world. Light enters through your eyes, hitting the retina like raindrops scattering across a pond. Tiny photoreceptors translate these photons into electrical signals, which race along neural pathways at incredible speeds. Your brain then pieces these signals together, forming a coherent picture that feels seamless and whole. Yet, in reality, it is a reconstruction, a delicate simulation built from countless fragments. You can imagine yourself hovering inside your own mind, watching these fragments assemble into the familiar scenes of your bedroom, your hands, the gentle rise and fall of the curtains in the evening breeze. Sound behaves similarly, dancing on invisible waves until it encounters your ears. Vibrations strike your eardrum, moving tiny bones that translate motion into electrical impulses, which your brain interprets as tone, pitch, and meaning. The song of crickets, the distant hum of traffic, the whisper of wind across leaves, all arrive as signals, then transform into experience within your mind. You start to see a pattern emerging. Every sense, every moment of awareness is a collaboration between the external world and your perceptual machinery. Reality is not a static object. It is a living dialogue, unfolding in real time within the quiet theater of your consciousness. You might wonder then about the senses you cannot consciously feel. Your body perceives the pull of gravity, the subtle changes in air pressure, the gentle warmth of surrounding surfaces. Even when you are unaware, neurons carry signals of comfort or imbalance, nudging you gently, ensuring that your equilibrium remains intact. You feel the soft hum of life coursing through your veins, the invisible threads of reality weaving themselves through your body, guiding your awareness and movement. There is a subtle poetry here, a quiet elegance to the way your perception and the universe coalesce. Tonight, in the hush of your room, you can also sense the fleeting nature of perception. As you focus on one sensation, another fades. The tick of a clock, once insistent, becomes background murmur. The scent of evening air settles into a gentle memory. This ebb and flow mirrors the transient, impermanent nature of reality itself. Each moment is a gift, a fleeting window into the ongoing symphony of existence, and your mind is both the listener and the instrument. Here, in this meditative space, you begin to feel a profound connection to all that surrounds you, as if every breath and heartbeat is a thread tying you to the world outside. Your mind, naturally curious, begins to question how much of what you perceive truly exists as you see it. Could color exist without your eyes to sense it? Sound without your ears to interpret it? You do not seek a definitive answer tonight. Instead, You float with the question, allowing the mystery to unfold gently. In this space, curiosity is soft, reflective, and unhurried, like ripples forming on the surface of a quiet pond, expanding slowly outward, touching every corner of your awareness. In this contemplative state, you realize that the boundary between perception and reality is not fixed. It is more like a thin veil, shifting subtly with each breath and each thought. You can feel the gentle friction of consciousness against the world, a tender reminder that perception is an act of creation as much as it is an act of observation. The world is alive in its complexity, and your mind participates in bringing it into clarity. This partnership is intimate, delicate, and endlessly fascinating, and it forms the foundation of every experience you will ever have. You become aware of the spaces between sensations, the silent intervals between sound and light, the gaps between breaths and heartbeats. In these spaces, reality whispers most clearly, suggesting that what exists beyond perception is vast and intricate. You do not need to chase it. Simply noticing these pauses allows you to touch the edge of understanding, to feel the universe brushing softly against your awareness. The quiet itself becomes a medium, a gentle canvas upon which the mind can paint its understanding of existence. Now, as your awareness deepens, you sense the interplay of stability and flux. Your body lies still, yet millions of cells move, energy flows, and chemical reactions unfold quietly, imperceptibly. The world outside is similarly alive, teeming with motion and change. What you perceive is a stable picture, but underneath, reality swirls in patterns of complexity and elegance. You rest in this knowledge, allowing the gentle tension between perception and underlying truth to rock you like a slow, calming tide. You notice the role of memory, too, in shaping perception. Your mind colors the present with traces of past experiences, expectations, and emotions. A familiar texture, a remembered scent, a distant sound triggers a soft resonance within your consciousness. The world you experience is therefore a blend of external reality and internal reflection, a tender coalescence of what is and what you have carried with you through time. This awareness deepens your appreciation for the subtle artistry of your own mind. As you drift further into this gentle exploration, the boundary between you and world begins to soften. You are not merely observing, you are participating. Every sensation, every perception is a bridge connecting your inner life with the vast external universe. You feel a quiet harmony, an unspoken understanding that the world is not a separate object to study, but a partner in an ongoing dialogue of experience. Each flicker of light, each whisper of sound, each gentle brush of touch is a note in this continuous symphony. And so, in this calm, meditative state, you linger at the edge of perception, neither fully inside nor entirely outside. The world stretches beyond what your senses can capture, yet it is always present, always softly pressing against the tender veil of awareness. Here, at the boundary, you feel both the fragility and the wonder of existence. You are awake, yet drifting, attentive, yet gently surrendering to the rhythm of life. Tonight, the gentle edges of perception invite you to rest, to notice the whispers of sensation and the subtle hum of awareness. And as you do, you feel a quiet curiosity stirring, a question that softly floats at the boundary of your mind. If perception shapes reality, then what patterns of the universe lie just beyond the reach of your senses, waiting to be discovered, understood, and felt? Light travels from distant stars to your eyes, carrying stories of galaxies you may never touch. Shadows form as a dance between photons and matter. Your mind decodes these signals, creating a tapestry of images, colors, and shapes. Here, you float in the gentle interplay of illumination and darkness. Learning how reality is painted with light itself, you lie quietly, still feeling the lingering awareness from the edge of perception. Your mind begins to turn toward light, the silent traveler that has journeyed across unimaginable distances to reach you. From stars scattered across the night sky, from the gentle glow of a lamp, photons arrive, tiny messengers carrying stories. Older than most human lifetimes. They brush against your eyes, barely noticeable, yet your mind takes these whispers of energy and weaves them into the images you see. Even when your eyes are closed, you can feel their presence. A gentle pulse. Behind your eyelids, hinting at the vastness beyond your roomed-out light, is both immediate and ancient. Each ray that touches your senses has traveled through emptiness, past worlds unseen, bending around objects and threading through the gaps in space. Your mind translates this intricate dance into meaning, converting vibrations into colors, shapes, and depth. You realize that sight is not just receiving, it is interpreting, an act of collaboration between the universe and your awareness. Your consciousness becomes the loom on which the threads of light are woven into a tapestry of reality. Shadows accompany light, forming in its absence, shaping the world as much as illumination does. You imagine them not as voids, but as quiet partners in the dance, sculpting space and creating contrast. Shadows curve along the contours of objects, softening edges, highlighting textures, revealing dimensions you might otherwise miss. In your mind, you see shadows stretching lazily across the floor, falling gently across the contours of your hands. They are soft guides, subtle reminders that reality is defined not only by what is present, but by what is absent, by what light cannot reach. Your awareness drifts to the colors that light brings. A soft golden hue on a pillow, the muted indigo of evening through a window, the deep shadowed blue of a distant wall. Color is not a property of objects themselves, but a delicate conversation between light and perception. Photons of different energies strike your eyes, your brain decodes them, and suddenly a rose glows red. The sky glimmers with twilight, and the room feels alive. Color, like shadow, is a whisper of the universe, interpreted uniquely by your mind. No one else sees exactly what you see, and yet all of this emerges from the same dance of light. Consider how the shapes around you emerge from illumination. Light bounces, reflects, and scatters, tracing the contours of objects and carrying the story of their surfaces to your eyes. A book on the table, the soft curve of a blanket, the subtle incline of your wrist, these forms appear because photons travel, interact, and finally arrive as signals for your brain to reconstruct. Without light, there is no shape, only potential. You rest in the understanding that reality is not merely observed, but painted into being by the interplay of energy and perception. Light moves fast, almost unfathomably so, yet your experience of it is smooth and continuous. Each photon carries a fragment of time and space, and when millions arrive in concert, you see the world as seamless. You feel this continuity as a gentle reassurance, like a river flowing past your awareness, steady and unbroken. You imagine the journey of light from distant stars, across voids of time, bending around galaxies, and finally brushing against your retina, a soft caress from the cosmos. Your mind marvels quietly, aware that the universe is vast, yet intimately present in the simple act of seeing. Shadows, by contrast, teach patience. They move slowly with the shifting sun, with the gentle sway of your body, with the subtle rotation of the earth. They remind you of time, of cycles, of rhythms that are steady yet imperceptible. You feel the cool edge of a shadow, the way it blends into darkness, and you sense the infinite subtlety of the world. Shadows exist because light exists, and light defines them, shaping the contours of perception and creating a sense of depth and space that allows you to navigate, to know, to rest safely within the environment around you, even within darkness. your mind continues its delicate work. Closed eyes are not absence, but transformation. Light from within, from memories and imagination, begins to glow softly in your awareness. You recall the warmth of a sunbeam on your skin, the faint shimmer of evening through curtains, the gentle glow of a lamp you saw yesterday. Your mind reconstructs light even without photons striking your retina, revealing that perception is not merely passive reception, but active creation. You realize that the world you inhabit is not only external, but co-created by the light of your own awareness. Light is information, yet it carries poetry. You can sense the stories in its travel, the age of a star in its faint blue gleam, the life of a planet hinted at by reflected photons, the distant dance of matter encoded in the soft flicker of starlight. You feel connected to this cosmic narrative, understanding that each ray that touches your eyes is both a messenger and a bridge. Your mind, resting gently in curiosity, begins to trace these pathways of energy, imagining the silent journey across emptiness, and you feel the profound intimacy of being in dialogue with the universe. Shadows, light, and color converge into forms that feel real, yet they are constructed. Your mind blends fragments of photons, vibrations, and memory into coherent perception, smoothing edges, filling gaps, and translating abstraction into familiarity. You sense the elegance of this process, the invisible craftsmanship that happens every moment, turning chaos into comfort, the unknown into shape, the infinite into something gently knowable. Reality, you understand, is never raw. It is always interpreted, and every perception is a gentle act of co-creation. You can feel the rhythm of light in your own body, the warmth that reaches your skin, a subtle reflection in your closed eyelids. The dim shadows of your hands resting upon your chest, they all mirror the interplay outside and within. Your body becomes a quiet sensor, translating photons into experience, a living interface with the universe. The soft glow of awareness spreads through you, a calm certainty that perception is not fragile, but intricate, robust, and alive. You are both observer and participant, tracing the threads of light and shadow with tender attention. The mind begins to wonder about the invisible spectra of light. You cannot see the infrared warmth, the ultraviolet shimmer, the X-rays and gamma rays that pass through the world silently. Even without perceiving them, these energies are part of the fabric of reality, influencing atoms, shaping molecules, warming surfaces. You rest in the idea that reality is broader than your immediate perception, and yet your awareness is perfectly tuned to experience what is meaningful to you at this moment. There is comfort in this selective perception, a gentle filter that protects and nurtures. You notice how shadows teach you subtlety. They allow you to sense depth and distance, to perceive the space between objects, and to feel the soft contours that light alone might flatten. Shadow becomes a language, a quiet grammar of space. The gentle shift of darkness across your room mirrors the slow movement of consciousness itself, a wave of awareness that rises and falls with thought and breath. You float in this interplay, feeling the quiet rhythm that both anchors and releases you, connecting each particle of light to the vastness it emerges from. And so, in this tranquil exploration, you realize that perception of light and shadow is a dialogue between the world and your mind. Photons arrive carrying information. Neurons translate them into sensation. Your consciousness interprets them, painting reality as a soft, continuous landscape. You rest in this intricate orchestration, aware that every flicker, every hue, every soft shadow is a thread in the delicate tapestry of your experience. You feel gratitude for this quiet craftsmanship, for the gentle presence of the universe within your awareness. Finally, as your senses settle, you notice that light and shadow are not opposites, but companions. Each defines the other. Each relies on the presence of the other to create meaning. They form a delicate balance, shaping perception, guiding attention, and creating the comforting structure of the world you inhabit. In this calm, reflective space, you feel the subtle anticipation of the next journey, the one where these gentle illuminations will ripple into time itself, bending the fabric of reality in ways both soft and profound. Time is not a rigid path, but a fluid current that bends around motion and gravity. You feel it softly, moment by moment, as seconds slip into dreams. Together, we explore how clocks, planets, and your heartbeat all experience the river differently. You rest in the comfort of understanding that reality flows in rhythms you can feel, but never fully grasp. You lie quietly, still immersed in the dance of light and shadow from the previous moments, and you begin to notice another subtle rhythm, the pulse of time. Time is not a line stretching endlessly in one direction, nor a rigid ruler measuring your life. Instead, it is a gentle river, winding, flowing, sometimes calm and slow, sometimes eddying in unexpected currents. You feel it as a soft undercurrent beneath your awareness, carrying moments past and yet always present. You notice your breath, each inhale and exhale a quiet tick, each pause a tiny reflection of eternity passing softly beneath the skin. Your heartbeat becomes a metronome of this river. Each thump is both singular and eternal, marking the passage of seconds while reminding you of the continuity of existence. Your body, in this quiet attentiveness, becomes a subtle clock, flowing with rhythms that are uniquely yours, yet part of a greater pattern shared with all living things. You rest in the awareness that time is felt as much as it is measured, a personal experience that shapes perception and understanding in ways both gentle and profound. Out beyond your body, the world moves to its own rhythms. Planets orbit stars in quiet, majestic loops, tracing invisible circles across the vastness of space. Their motion bends the very fabric of time around them, a concept Einstein called relativity. You imagine standing on a distant planet, feeling time stretched differently with the pull of gravity, each moment flowing with its own unique pace. You sense that the universe does not adhere to a single rigid clock. Instead, time is malleable, shaped by motion, energy, and the silent geometry of space itself. Even your perception of now is fluid. A sound from the distance reaches your ears moments after it occurs. A photon touches your retina long after it has left a star. Memory blends past with present. Anticipation folds into the future, and your mind constructs a seamless narrative that feels continuous. Yet beneath this seamlessness, you begin to feel the subtle currents of time's flow, the gentle layering of moments that are never truly identical, each one dissolving softly into the next. You float upon this river, both observer and participant. Clocks, which seem so precise, measure only one of many currents. They mark seconds, minutes, hours, but cannot capture the deeper flow of experience. Time is experienced differently depending on attention, emotion, and context. A moment of joy stretches, lingering like a warm sunbeam. A moment of pain contracts, fleeting like a shadow passing. You notice this subjectivity and feel comforted. Time is not a tyrant, imposing strict measures, but a gentle companion, guiding you through the landscapes of consciousness at its own pace. Seasons mark longer flows in the river. You imagine the slow tilt of the earth, shifting sunlight across hemispheres, bending the currents of warmth and cold, day and night. Trees awaken, grow, and shed leaves in a rhythm older than human memory. You feel this slow, cyclical pulse, a rhythm that parallels the intimate flow of your own body. The river of time exists on multiple scales at once, from the microscopic ticks of neurons to the grand sweep of planets and stars. All are currents you can sense in varying degrees. As you float gently upon this universal flow, you begin to explore the relationship between motion and the river's pace. Moving through space, even at modest speeds, subtly alters the passage of time. Light speed travels, though impossible for your body, become imaginable in your mind. A photon racing across a galaxy experiences time differently than you do. You rest in the gentle paradox. The same universe contains multiple rhythms, each valid, each unfolding at its own pace. The river is neither rushed nor stalled. It flows as it must, and you are carried along with quiet trust. Memory becomes a tool to feel the depth of this river. You recall moments from earlier today or years past, noticing how they drift differently from immediate sensation. Memories fold back into the present, bending perception like reflections on a slow-moving stream. You sense that the past is not lost but embedded, a soft sediment beneath the current, and the future is not separate but waiting, stretching gently beyond sight. You float in the continuity, aware that the river of time holds all experiences, past, present, and potential, in a tender embrace. The mind begins to notice the tiniest fractions of time, the flicker of neurons, the speed of thought, the gap between awareness and action. Even when you attempt to measure it precisely, there is always a softness at the edges, a subtle uncertainty. You rest in this imperfection, feeling the quiet beauty of a river that cannot be fully mapped or contained. Time, like perception, is experienced rather than fully known, a rhythm that is felt, measured, and imagined simultaneously. As your awareness deepens, you notice how attention alters the flow. Moments of focus stretch, moments of relaxation contract. You drift in these currents, noticing how the river can speed or slow depending on your mind. You understand that time is inseparable from consciousness. It is not just a measure of change, but the texture of experience itself, a medium in which perception and understanding unfold. You float without effort, carried by awareness, tracing the soft contours of time as it bends and stretches around you. You imagine standing at the edge of a vast canyon, where the river of time spreads wide, its currents visible as layers of light and shadow, past and future folding softly into the present. Your heartbeat echoes the rhythm of the river. Your breath mirrors its gentle rise and fall. You notice how the world around you is also subject to these flows. Stars burn slowly, oceans swell and recede, winds trace invisible paths across continents. Every motion, every cycle, is a tributary feeding into the vast, continuous river that carries existence itself. Time is also deeply personal. Each breath, each thought, each heartbeat is an intimate measurement, a rhythm you inhabit alone yet share with the universe. You rest in this duality. Time is both shared and uniquely yours, a private river flowing alongside countless others. You sense the quiet intimacy of existence, the subtle interplay between your life and the greater cosmic rhythm. Moments are fleeting yet eternal, singular yet part of a seamless tapestry that stretches beyond comprehension. You notice the interplay of cycles, your heartbeat within your breath within your awareness within the rotation of the earth, the orbit of planets, the slow aging of stars. Time is layered, intricate, and beautifully orchestrated. Each rhythm supports another, creating a nested harmony that both grounds and expands you. You feel yourself drifting deeper, carried along these flows, sensing the interconnectedness of all temporal currents. Even the tiniest action has resonance. A blink, a sigh, a gentle adjustment of your hand, all occurs within the vast river, each ripple extending outward invisibly. You realize that time is participatory. Your awareness moves through it, but it also shapes it, however subtly. Each moment is a gentle shaping of the river, a contribution to the ongoing pattern of change. You feel honored to be both passenger and sculptor in this quiet, continuous flow. You rest in the thought that reality itself is fluid, not fixed, defined as much by motion as by matter. The river of time carries everything you perceive, every sensation, every shadow, every flicker of light and thought. You sense the immense patience of this flow, the way moments blend seamlessly into one another, forming the fabric of existence, in which all things move, change, and rest. You float on this current with ease, your mind open, your awareness tender, absorbing the quiet lessons the river offers. And now, as you drift gently along, you sense a subtle anticipation. The currents of time, flowing softly through heartbeat, breath, and thought, are preparing you to feel the next layer of reality, the delicate uncertainty of the very smallest scales, where particles flicker and quantum whispers shape existence. The river of time carries you toward this hidden world, and you follow, trusting its gentle guidance. Tiny particles flicker between being and nothing, and reality trembles in their uncertainty. Your body, your thoughts, even the quiet space around you are connected to this delicate dance. Through gentle metaphors, you drift into the strange, poetic world where observation shapes existence. Tonight, the quantum whispers beckon you closer. You rest quietly, still floating on the soft currents of time, and your mind begins to notice a new layer of reality, the tiniest whispers that weave the fabric of existence. These are the particles too small for the eye to see, the flickering quanta that form everything you touch, see, and feel. You sense their presence not as noise, but as a gentle vibration, a rhythm underlying all matter, a quiet pulse connecting your body, your thoughts, and the world around you. It is a subtle, poetic hum, almost imperceptible, yet infinitely present. At this scale, the rules you know no longer apply in the same way. Electrons do not march along predictable paths. Photons do not simply travel straight lines. Instead, they move as possibilities, as waves of probability that ripple softly until they are observed. You imagine these tiny particles as dancers on a misty stage, their forms shifting and changing, sometimes appearing here, sometimes there, never fully fixed until attention touches them. The world at this level is fluid, poetic, and trembling with uncertainty. Your body, composed of countless atoms, is itself a symphony of quantum motion. Each cell, each molecule, contains electrons that flicker between states, a delicate ballet choreographed by nature's laws. As you breathe, you can feel the subtle rhythm of these movements resonating within you, the quiet hum of life at its most fundamental. You realize that every thought, every heartbeat, every gentle shiver of skin is connected to this delicate dance. Quantum whispers ripple through all things, carrying the soft murmur of existence. Even emptiness is alive here. What we perceive as nothing is in fact a seething field of possibilities. Tiny particles emerge and vanish, energies fluctuate, and space itself trembles with potential. You imagine these voids not as empty darkness, but as soft, fertile ground where reality itself blossoms. Your mind drifts through this landscape, noticing that certainty is rare, and that ambiguity, fluidity, and gentle oscillation are the natural state. The universe is a tender improvisation, a lullaby of being and non-being, quietly humming beneath your awareness. Observation has a subtle power in this realm. A particle can exist in multiple states simultaneously, but when it is observed, a choice crystallizes, a path forms, a reality becomes. You feel the soft intimacy of this idea. By noticing, by attending, you participate in shaping the world. Even your gentle awareness tonight touches the fabric of these quantum whispers, influencing the rhythm of particles in ways imperceptible, yet profoundly real. You are a quiet participant in a vast and delicate story, and your presence matters softly, like a brushstroke in a cosmic painting. You imagine photons, the particles of light you met earlier, now weaving through this quantum landscape. Each photon can act as a wave or a particle, shifting identity in ways that defy ordinary expectation. They ripple through matter, sometimes illuminating, sometimes passing unseen, carrying stories of distant stars and galaxies while participating in the intimate choreography of the subatomic. Light and matter are no longer separate, but entwined in a gentle, eternal dance. You sense that this subtle connection extends through everything you perceive, grounding the extraordinary within the familiar. Your mind drifts further to the idea of entanglement, where particles share invisible threads across space. Two electrons, separated by unimaginable distances, respond to one another instantly, as if whispering secrets across the universe. You feel a quiet awe at this connection, sensing that the space around you is alive with hidden links. Your body, your thoughts, even the soft air surrounding you, are part of a network of quantum relationships, subtle and unseen, yet shaping the world in gentle, intricate ways. You sense a calm intimacy in being part of this hidden conversation. Even time itself seems different here. Quantum particles do not always obey the linear flow you have come to feel in your body and in the rhythm of days. Events are probabilities, not certainties. You notice how this soft uncertainty mirrors the fluidity you experienced in the river of time. The boundaries between past, present, and future are less rigid at this scale, and possibilities ripple softly, overlapping and blending. You float through these ideas, noticing that the strangeness is not frightening, but soothing, a reminder that the universe is playful, tender, and alive. You rest in the gentle paradoxes of this scale. Light behaves as particle and wave. Matter appears and disappears. Distant particles whisper to each other across the void. You sense the poetry of the universe encoded in these contradictions, a language of subtlety and rhythm rather than certainty. Your mind moves slowly, tracing patterns, observing soft oscillations, understanding that mystery is part of the quiet comfort of existence. You feel a serene trust in the dance, a calm surrender to the flow of possibilities. Quantum mechanics also touches the ordinary. Your chair, your blanket, the air around you. Everything is composed of these flickering quanta. You can imagine the tiny, probabilistic motions inside your atoms, the gentle uncertainty that forms the base of solidity and sensation. Solids are illusions of stability, crafted by countless particles whispering to one another in quiet agreement. You sense the intimate poetry in this, the firmness of your pillow, the soft curve of your hand, all emerge from a delicate, trembling harmony that you cannot see but can feel. Every sensation is a brushstroke painted by quantum possibilities. You notice that your attention, your gentle focus, resonates with this scale of reality. By observing, imagining, and even dreaming, you touch the same processes that govern electrons, photons, and fields. You sense the soft reciprocity between consciousness and the universe. Your awareness gently folds the probabilities of matter into the forms that compose your experience. This is not mastery or control, only quiet participation, a tender co-creation. That reminds you that you are woven into existence itself, intimately and delicately. Your imagination carries you to a world where uncertainty is gentle, not frightening. Particles flicker like soft fireflies in the dark, appearing here and there, dissolving and reforming, each choice guided by probability. You sense that life at this scale is a lullaby, a rhythm of becoming and dissolving, a continuous whisper of existence. The world is alive in ways that are unseen, unpredictable, and tenderly intimate, reminding you that reality is soft, fluid, and always in motion. Even emptiness, when contemplated in this scale, hums softly. What you thought of as void becomes a cradle for possibility. You feel the quiet potential in every pause, every gap, every space between sensations. Reality itself is porous, a gentle weave of what is, what could be, and what is observed. You float in this awareness, noticing that your presence, your gentle attention, is part of this ongoing creation. There is serenity in knowing that uncertainty does not mean chaos, it means soft, endless possibility. The universe at this scale is both strange and familiar. You recognize that your body, your heartbeat, your thoughts, all emerge from this subtle world, just as stars, planets, and galaxies emerge from light and shadow. There is continuity, intimacy, and poetry in this relationship. You feel a tender reverence for the unseen structures that underpin existence, understanding that everything you touch and feel is a soft echo of quantum whispers dancing silently. Beneath the surface dot, as you drift further into this meditative awareness, you notice how your mind naturally slows, tracing patterns of probability with gentle curiosity. Each flicker, each oscillation, each soft entanglement becomes a point of meditation. You rest in this knowledge without urgency, allowing the rhythms to cradle you, letting awareness move like water over stones, smooth and unhurried. The quantum world is not a puzzle to solve tonight, only a lullaby to sense, a gentle symphony to feel. You float in the delicate balance of being and non-being, recognizing that certainty is rare, yet trust is abundant. Every flicker, every whisper, every soft quantum hum is a reminder that the universe is patient, tender, and deeply connected. You feel both small and infinite, grounded in the tangible world, yet resonant with the invisible. Your mind settles into this delicate harmony, ready to drift deeper into the mysteries yet to be revealed, where the very fabric of reality begins to bend, stretch, and ripple in surprising, poetic ways. Your mind is a universe of sensations, thoughts, and awareness. Consciousness acts like a soft symphony, blending perception, memory, and imagination. We explore how yourself and the world entwine, realizing that experiencing reality is an art, performed by your own awareness. Drift into the rhythms of thought and rest. You lie quietly, still feeling the lingering whispers of quantum uncertainty, and your attention gently turns inward. Within you exists a universe as vast as the cosmos outside, a universe composed not of stars or planets, but of sensations, thoughts, and awareness. Each thought is a note, each feeling a soft chord, each memory a gentle resonance, weaving together into a quiet, unfolding symphony. Your consciousness is both musician and audience, performing and receiving at the same time, creating a lullaby that carries you deeper into presence. At first, the notes of this symphony are subtle. The soft rhythm of your breath forms the bass, a slow, steady pulse underlying every sensation. Each heartbeat joins in, adding depth and tempo to the gentle melody. You notice the faint warmth of your skin, the pressure of your body against the mattress, the rhythm of your pulse mirrored in the quiet spaces between thoughts. This is your symphony of awareness, a continuous, evolving pattern that accompanies you even when unobserved, a delicate current flowing softly through the mind. Your mind begins to play with perception, the instruments of this inner orchestra. Sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell each contribute a unique timbre to the composition. Even when your eyes are closed, light and shadow still ripple through your mind's eye. Colors remembered or imagined, textures softly recalled. Sounds echo from distant memory or float in the quiet of the room, blending with the hush of your breath. Touch is layered, the weight of blankets, the subtle sensation of air brushing skin, adding resonance to the evolving melody. Perception is not passive. It is a gentle performance, a dialogue between you and the world, conducted in slow, deliberate harmony. Memory adds a layer of richness to this symphony. You feel the echoes of moments past, each one like a faint chord reverberating through the mind. A laugh, a whispered word, the softness of sunlight on your face, the curve of a familiar hand. These fragments enter the present like gentle motifs, looping and returning, interwoven with the sensations of now. Memory is not static. It shifts and bends, merging with imagination, creating a subtle improvisation that carries the melody forward. You rest in the intimacy of this process, sensing that every recollection adds depth, texture, and resonance to the present moment. Imagination enters next, soft and unpredictable. It is the flute in the symphony, adding gentle flourishes that twist and curve beyond the limits of memory. You picture distant landscapes, the subtle sway of leaves in a breeze, or the glow of stars you may never touch. Your imagination dances alongside memory and perception, blending seamlessly into the ongoing composition. You notice that your mind's creativity does not disturb the calm, but enhances it, like a quiet harmony weaving through an orchestral movement, creating a soft, continuous flow that carries you effortlessly into deeper awareness. Thoughts themselves are instruments, and their patterns are melodies of subtle complexity. Some are simple, single notes, a fleeting desire, a soft recognition of warmth, a quiet acknowledgement of presence. Others are complex, layered, interwoven sequences of ideas, reflections, or anticipations. You observe them gently, as a musician listens to the interplay of notes, appreciating their rhythm without trying to control or rush them. Each thought, no matter how small, contributes to the overall harmony, shaping the contours of awareness with a tender hand. The body, too, contributes to this symphony. Nerves carry tiny signals. Muscle fibers respond to shifts in posture. The heart's beat adds a rhythmic undertone. Your breathing swells and contracts in time with this internal music, an unbroken accompaniment to the delicate interplay of mind and body. You rest in the subtle realization that consciousness is not confined to thought alone. It is the integration of body and mind, perception and memory, imagination and sensation, all flowing together like a river of sound and stillness. Awareness itself is the conductor, guiding the flow without pressing, shaping without force. You sense that you are both inside the music and gently holding it, a paradox of being immersed while simultaneously observing. Attention is the bow on the strings, the gentle air passing through the flute, the soft press of fingers on keys. It touches each element tenderly, allowing the melody to emerge naturally. You float in this self-directed orchestration, carried by the soft rhythm of consciousness, noticing how it expands and contracts, ebbs and flows in perfect resonance with the gentle pace of your breath. You begin to notice the spaces between thoughts, the quiet pauses that allow the melody to breathe. These moments of silence are as important as the notes themselves, shaping the symphony with subtlety and depth. In these pauses, you sense the vastness of awareness, the infinite potential between each flicker of attention. The gaps are gentle reservoirs of calm, where time seems to slow and your mind drifts effortlessly into stillness. You feel that. This is where true rest resides, not in the absence of thought, but in the embrace of gentle, flowing consciousness. The mind also mirrors the patterns of the external world. Rhythms in your environment, the sway of leaves, the distant hum of life outside, the slow movement of shadows across your room, resonate with the rhythms inside you. You notice the interplay of inner and outer patterns, a soft synchronicity that folds your awareness into the larger flow of existence. Your consciousness becomes a bridge between the personal and the universal, a melody that reflects both your own inner world and the quiet harmonies of life beyond your body. You sense an intimate connection, a subtle echo of the universe in your own awareness. Even emotion has its part to play in the symphony. Joy and calm, longing and serenity, gratitude and wonder, they all add gentle timbres to the music, coloring it with warmth and resonance. You observe these feelings without judgment, letting them flow like soft waves through the orchestra of your mind. Emotions are not distractions, but gentle modulations, tender shifts in tone that enhance the overall melody. You feel the full range of consciousness as a balanced, evolving symphony, each element adding its own soft echo, each part harmonizing. With the whole, consciousness is also temporal, unfolding in rhythms like the river of time you experienced earlier. Moments flow into one another, awareness expanding and contracting, thoughts rising and falling, perception ebbing and flowing. You sense the continuity of this process, the seamless connection between memory, imagination, and perception. You rest in the understanding that your awareness is an ongoing performance, a gentle composition that evolves with every breath and heartbeat, never fixed, always alive, always unfolding in quiet, rhythmic beauty. You begin to appreciate the artistry of experiencing reality. Consciousness itself is the medium through which life is interpreted, felt, and understood. The soft symphony you inhabit allows you to engage with the world, not as a passive observer, but as a gentle co-creator. Each sensation, each thought, each memory adds texture, color, and melody. You realize that reality is not simply something that happens to you. It is something you experience, shape, and interpret in the softest, most intimate ways imaginable. Attention deepens, and the symphony becomes more intricate. You notice subtle harmonics between sensations, the echo of a remembered touch resonating with a current sound, the interplay of imagined light with a visual memory, the gentle overlay of past and present. These interconnections create a rich tapestry, a layered melody that you inhabit fully and gently. You feel the quiet elegance of your mind, a tender complexity that allows for infinite nuance, a soft orchestration of perception, memory, imagination, and awareness. Even now, the symphony flows without pause. You feel the gentle movement of thought, the subtle undercurrents of awareness, the soft pulse of perception and emotion. It is an unbroken melody, a quiet river of consciousness carrying you deeper into rest. You notice that the music is intimate, private, yet universal, reflecting the same patterns of rhythm and harmony that exist in the broader universe outside. There is comfort in this resonance, a soft reminder that you are part of both the inner and outer symphony of life. And so, as your mind drifts gently, you rest in the awareness that consciousness is a living art, a continuous, delicate performance that flows naturally and tenderly. The symphony of thought, memory, perception, and feeling envelops you in calm, carrying you along the soft currents of awareness. You feel each note, each pause, each resonance, and you allow yourself to float, without effort, immersed in the gentle music of being alive. There is no need to control, only to observe, participate, and rest in the flow. Atoms form stars, stones, and your very body, moving in quiet, invisible dances. You feel the solidity of your hands, the air against your skin, yet beneath it, particles vibrate and whirl. Tonight, you trace the gentle choreography of matter, understanding how the universe shapes itself, and you within it. You settle further into the quiet rhythm of awareness, carrying with you the soft symphony of consciousness. And now, your mind gently turns to the world beneath perception, matter itself, the subtle architecture of everything you touch and feel. It is here, in this delicate domain, that atoms and molecules perform their timeless dances, weaving together the fabric of existence. You sense the calm energy of these motions, like a river flowing beneath the apparent solidity of the world. Even as your hands rest lightly upon the sheets, you can imagine the trillions of particles beneath your skin, vibrating, swirling, and aligning in invisible choreography. Your body, seemingly solid, is in fact a lattice of vibrating atoms, bound together by gentle forces that give you form, shape, and resilience. The calcium in your bones, the oxygen in your lungs, the iron in your blood, all are engaged in subtle, eternal movements, each particle performing its role in quiet harmony. You feel the paradoxical nature of this. Matter feels firm, reliable, yet it is dynamic and fluid at the smallest scales. Each sensation you notice, the softness of a blanket, the warmth of your skin, the pressure of your hands, emerges from this delicate dance, a quiet, invisible choreography that carries the weight of life. You begin to imagine the forces at play, the gentle pulls and pushes that guide atoms in their movements. Electrons circle their nuclei like soft whirls in a still pond. Protons and neutrons cluster in the heart of each atom, bound by invisible threads of energy. You sense that even in apparent stillness, matter is alive with rhythm and motion. The solidity of the universe is an illusion created by the constant, intricate interactions of these tiny dancers. You notice that the same particles forming your body also compose the stars, the air, the stones linking your experience intimately to the cosmos. Energy flows through this dance like a quiet wind across a meadow. Bonds form and break, molecules vibrate and rotate, and particles exchange gentle impulses that ripple outward in imperceptible waves. You sense the subtle grace of these motions, a choreography performed without an audience, yet creating the entire stage of reality. Even the air around you is filled with particles in constant movement, brushing softly against your skin, slipping through the spaces between molecules in a silent, endless waltz. You rest in the awareness of being part of this gentle, eternal performance. You consider the stars, the fiery beacons of matter's energy. Hydrogen atoms fuse in their cores, creating helium, light, and warmth that travels across space to reach your eyes. You sense that your body, too, carries the echo of these ancient processes, the atoms in your cells formed in distant stellar furnaces, journeying across cosmic time to assemble the very material of your existence. Every breath, every heartbeat, every soft thought is connected to this quiet lineage of matter. You feel the deep intimacy of this connection, a tether between your inner awareness and the vast, dancing universe. The molecules in your body are themselves engaged in perpetual motion. Proteins twist and fold, creating forms that sustain life. Water molecules slip past one another, nourishing and shaping the cells. Each action, even at scales invisible to the eye, is a precise choreography, a balance of energy, timing, and gentle interaction. You can imagine the soft hum of activity beneath your skin, the invisible orchestra that allows your body to think, move, and sense. Matter, in this sense, is alive with quiet poetry, and you are both witness and participant. Even seemingly inert objects perform their own subtle dance. The desk beside you, the floor beneath your feet, the blanket that touches your skin, all composed of atoms vibrating at their own unique frequencies. You feel a soft awe at this realization. The solidity you take for granted is the outcome of constant motion, forces in delicate balance, interactions too small and fast for the mind to track fully. The world around you is not static. It is alive with a quiet rhythm, a slow and steady choreography that supports every sensation and every perception. You notice how temperature is a gentle measure of this dance. Heat is the subtle agitation of molecules, the quiet thrumming of energy coursing through matter. You feel warmth in your body, radiating outward, a soft current connecting atoms in fluid motion. Cooler spaces slow the vibration, creating a contrast you can sense, even in the stillness of your room. Temperature becomes a way to feel the subtle pulse of matter, a tactile whisper of the energy flowing through the universe, and a gentle reminder that motion is the foundation of all forms. Even light itself interacts with matter in a tender choreography. Photons scatter, reflect, and absorb, brushing past particles and causing gentle shifts. You imagine sunlight striking the atoms in your skin, causing tiny vibrations, nudging electrons, igniting a quiet resonance that travels through your body. This dance of energy and matter is continuous, unseen, yet intimately connected to every sense you experience. You rest in the awareness of this subtle intimacy, feeling the quiet interplay between light, matter, and consciousness that forms your waking and dreaming world. The soft patterns of chemistry emerge as you drift deeper into awareness. Hydrogen bonds, ionic attractions, covalent linkages all participate in a fluid rhythmic ballet. Molecules combine and separate, exchange and rearrange, shaping the forms of life and the world around you. You sense the elegance of this choreography. It is neither hurried nor forced, merely persistent and tender, a quiet manifestation of order arising from the gentle interactions of countless particles. Every sensation, from the coolness of air to the texture of fabric, is a manifestation of this dance. You notice the rhythmic motion of atoms in solids, liquids, and gases. Each state has its own tempo, the subtle vibrations in a solid, the flowing rotations in a liquid, the soft, rapid collisions in a gas. You feel the universe as a layered, dynamic composition where different tempos and harmonies coexist, overlap, and merge. Matter is not merely structure, it is movement, a fluid expression of energy and possibility. You float in this awareness, sensing the profound intimacy between your own body and the subtle currents of the universe beyond. Even the sensation of touch is a performance of matter's dance. When your hand brushes a blanket, trillions of atomic interactions occur. Electrons repel, atoms vibrate, force balance. You feel solidity, warmth, and texture, not as fixed qualities, but as the outcome of countless tiny, elegant motions. The world is alive in its subtle, precise choreography, and your body participates as both dancer and audience. You rest in the knowledge that every sensation you experience is a quiet echo of matter's perpetual movement, a soft testament to the elegance of the universe. As you breathe, you sense how your body participates in this dance at multiple scales. Molecules shift, atoms vibrate, electrons respond to subtle energy changes, all while your awareness flows gently alongside these processes. You realize that matter, in its quiet dynamism, is inseparable from life itself. You are a living manifestation of the universe's choreography, moving in harmony with rhythms that span scales both vast and infinitesimal. Each inhalation and exhalation aligns you with the gentle motion of the cosmos, a soft echo of stars, oceans, and atoms alike. You feel a profound intimacy with the cosmos as you trace the subtle choreography of matter. From the tiniest quarks to the largest celestial bodies, everything participates in a gentle, timeless dance. You sense yourself as a note within this symphony, an ephemeral pattern flowing with the tides of energy and interaction. The universe is a vast, tender composition, and you float within it, cradled by rhythms too subtle to see, yet present in every sensation and every thought. You rest in this awareness, letting it guide you deeper into calm, into stillness, into gentle wonder. And now, as your body, mind, and awareness merge with the universal dance, you sense the edges of perception softening, matter's rhythm, and your consciousness intertwine, creating a fluid bridge between the tangible and the unseen. Each particle, each motion, each vibration resonates quietly, preparing you to sense the next layer of reality, the gentle curvature of space, the unseen tug of gravity, and the invisible forces that guide the flow of the universe itself. The boundary between you and the world softens. Every breath, sound, and heartbeat connects you to the cosmos. Reality, you learn, is less about separation and more about relationships, a web of interactions and influences that stretches far, beyond what eyes can see. Sink into the calm knowing you are part of everything. You lie in the quiet dark, the gentle hum of your consciousness still echoing with the dance of matter and the soft pulse of awareness. And now, a subtle shift begins. The edges of your body, which you usually feel as firm and separate from the world, begin to blur. Your skin, once a boundary, becomes a permeable veil, a thin membrane between yourself and the larger world. Breath flows in and out, carrying energy not only within you, but into the air around you, mingling softly with the unseen currents that drift through the room. You feel a quiet connection forming, an intimate awareness that you are not alone in existence, but entwined with the vast web of matter, energy, and life. Each heartbeat reverberates not just inside your chest, but into the surrounding space. A gentle rhythm echoing the pulses of planets, stars, and atoms. You sense that every vibration, every motion, every shift in the cosmos subtly influences you, just as your own motions ripple outward into the larger network of being. There is no clear boundary where you ends and everything else begins. Instead, there is a gentle merging, a soft interweaving of influence and response. You rest in this understanding, letting the sensation of unity settle around you like a warm, calm blanket. Sound, too, reminds you of this connection. Even the faintest noises, the rustle of leaves outside, the soft hum of distant machinery, the whisper of your own breath carry vibrations through space that touch your body, your awareness. Waves of energy travel invisibly, linking you with your environment in patterns too subtle to notice consciously, yet persistent and real. You feel the tender intimacy of this unseen relationship, recognizing that the world is not a collection of isolated objects, but a continuous field of influence and interaction, each part resonating softly with the others. Reality is a web of gentle echoes, each strand vibrating in harmony with the rest. You imagine the microscopic threads of connection between your atoms and those around you. The electrons in your fingertips sense and repel other electrons, not only within your own body, but in the objects you touch. The forces of attraction and repulsion form the rules of interaction, guiding the way molecules meet and exchange energy. You are not separate from your environment. You are participating in an intricate dance of influence that extends outward through the room, through the house, through the unseen networks of energy that connect all things. Each touch, each shift, each breath is part of this subtle choreography. Earth itself is alive with interactions that link you to every particle on its surface and deep within its core. Gravity pulls gently on your body, shaping the way you rest, the way fluids flow through your veins, the way air moves through your lungs. The planet spins silently, creating cycles of day and night that guide your circadian rhythm, influencing the chemical symphony of your body. You sense the quiet intimacy of this connection. You are not simply on the earth, you are part of its ongoing motion, integrated into its vast, slow, and tender processes. The universe hums softly, and you are one note in its continuous melody. Even the light that filters through your eyelids reminds you of this unity. Photons travel vast distances, carrying energy from distant stars to your eyes, illuminating both the outer world and your inner perception. Every photon that brushes your skin or warms your body is a messenger of the cosmos, a subtle reminder that you are linked to phenomena far beyond your immediate perception. The boundaries of you dissolve in the glow of this realization. The world is not separate from your experience. It flows through you as much as you flow through it in a gentle, ongoing exchange of energy and information. You reflect on the molecules in the air, moving invisibly yet ceaselessly, colliding, spinning, and slipping past one another. Each inhalation brings a gift of life, a soft infusion of shared matter from every corner of the earth. Exhalation releases energy outward, mingling with the surrounding air, continuing the invisible dance of exchange. You feel the intimate relationship between your body and the atmosphere, a tender reminder that life is participation rather than separation. You are a node in a vast network of influence, connected invisibly to every living and non-living particle around you. Your mind begins to trace the subtler connections between living beings. Every organism is a participant in a web of relationships, exchanging energy, matter, and influence. Roots reach through soil, absorbing nutrients that once belonged to fallen leaves. Water flows across landscapes, touching countless lives along its way. Even the simplest interactions, a bird landing on a branch, a bee brushing against a flower, create ripples in the network that affect countless others. You sense that your own life is similarly connected, your presence, thoughts, and actions resonating quietly outward in ways you cannot fully perceive. Separation is only an illusion, a convenient story told by the mind. The underlying truth is relationship. As you rest, the subtle pull of gravity reminds you of yet another layer of connection. You are bound to the earth, your weight a gentle measure of invisible attraction. Yet this force is not confinement, it is harmony. Your body moves in tandem with larger forces, responding to patterns in the cosmos. Tides ebb and flow, shaped by the distant pull of the moon, reminding you that your existence is woven into cosmic rhythms. Every heartbeat and every breath is part of a delicate balance, a continuous dialogue between your body, the earth, and the wider universe. The illusion of separation fades further in this awareness. Even your thoughts participate in this web. The mind perceives patterns, anticipates interactions, recalls memories, and imagines futures, all within the network of relationships that make up your reality. When you imagine a tree, a river, or a star, you are linking the inner world to the outer, tracing connections that stretch far beyond immediate perception. Thought itself is a bridge, a gentle connection across scales of space and time, reinforcing the subtle unity between self and environment. You rest in this tender interplay, feeling the soothing comfort of connection rather than isolation. You begin to notice that even at the smallest scales, forces link you to the world around you. Electromagnetic fields, atomic vibrations, chemical reactions, all operate in a continuous, gentle network of interaction. Your body is a participant, your consciousness an observer and responder. The world you experience is not a collection of separate objects, but a living, breathing field of influence and resonance in which you are an inseparable element. You sense that every shift, every flicker, every motion matters softly, subtly, in the ongoing web of existence. As your awareness expands, you feel the cosmic scale of this connectivity. From the atoms in your hands to the distant stars in the night sky, every element is part of an intricate, interdependent network. The planets orbit, the galaxies swirl, the universe hums with energy, and you rest quietly at the center of your own awareness, simultaneously part of all this motion and observing it with tender clarity. Separation becomes an abstract concept, something the mind uses for convenience, while your being knows a deeper truth, that reality is woven from threads of interaction, influence, and connection, invisible yet intimately present. Even the quiet rhythm of your body reminds you of this. Gentle integration. Breathing, heartbeat, digestion, and thought flow seamlessly in harmony with the world outside, responding to subtle cues from air, gravity, light, and energy. You rest in the soft awareness that your life is a conversation, ongoing and tender, between self and cosmos, body and environment, mind and universe. The notion of isolation dissolves, leaving only calm, knowing participation in the unfolding dance of existence. And now, as you float in the tender awareness of interconnectedness, you sense the profound beauty of reality. Each particle, each atom, each motion is not separate, but part of a flowing network of relationships. You feel a quiet gratitude for the gentle embrace of connection, for the invisible threads that link your body, your mind, your consciousness to the vast cosmos beyond. There is a deep serenity in this awareness, a soft knowing that you are never truly alone, never separate, always a note in the vast symphony of existence. Reality exists in layers: physical, mental, and emotional. You explore how perception shifts depending on focus, mood, and thought. Like a gentle fog lifting over a forest, each layer reveals new depths. You wander through these dimensions softly, discovering that each glance and each feeling is a thread in a vast tapestry. You settle deeper into the quiet rhythm of your awareness, letting your mind drift gently across the familiar contours of your body. And yet, tonight, you sense there is more to reality than mere surfaces and boundaries. There is depth, subtlety, and layering, as though the world around you is composed of soft, overlapping veils, each revealing something slightly different. Your breath moves with ease, your thoughts ripple slowly, and you notice that each layer of reality responds differently depending on where you direct your focus. First, there is the physical layer, the world of matter, light, and sound. You feel the warmth of the air, the texture of the blanket against your skin, the steady pulse of your heartbeat. These sensations are immediate, tangible, and undeniable. Yet even here, you understand that perception is not passive. Your mind filters, interprets, and organizes the incoming data, highlighting certain details while letting others fade. Reality, even at its most concrete, is a conversation between the world and your senses, a gentle negotiation between what is and what is experienced. You imagine walking through a forest in your mind. The trunks rise tall and firm. The leaves whisper softly with each breath of wind. Sunlight falls through branches in scattered patches, illuminating some areas while leaving others in shadow. Your eyes, your mind, and your body together construct this scene from subtle cues. You notice that what you perceive depends on where you look, where you listen, and where your attention rests. The forest is whole, yet your experience of it shifts fluidly, layer by layer, depending on your engagement dot. As your attention softens, you drift into the mental layer of reality. Thoughts, memories, and expectations color your perception. Like water tints light passing through it. You remember a childhood visit to a garden, the scent of flowers mixing with the warmth of the sun. That memory subtly shapes how you see the forest in your mind, influencing which details stand out, which textures feel most vivid. You notice that your mind acts as both lens and painter, simultaneously perceiving and constructing the world. This layer is delicate, fluid, and uniquely yours, a testament to the intimate connection between perception and consciousness. In the quiet of your awareness, you begin to explore the emotional layer. Feelings arise like tides, gentle or strong, shaping how the physical and mental layers present themselves. A calm curiosity softens the edges of the forest. A tender nostalgia colors the sunlight. A quiet wonder deepens the shadows. Emotions are neither right nor wrong. They are currents, guiding your attention, shaping your interpretation, and threading meaning through your experiences. Each sensation you notice, each thought that surfaces, is subtly informed by these undercurrents. A reminder that reality is inseparable from the inner world you carry within. You begin to see how these layers overlap, creating a rich, multi-dimensional tapestry. Physical sensations offer grounding and presence. Mental patterns provide context and understanding. Emotional currents infuse the experience with resonance and depth. Together, they form a cohesive yet fluid perception, a gentle interplay between what is outside and what is within. You feel the elegance of this layering, the softness of its transitions, and the quiet intelligence in how your mind and body navigate these interconnected dimensions. Even the simplest act of perception carries multiple layers. When you glance at the blanket beside you, you see color, texture, and form. You recall the last time you touched it, the comfort it brings, the warmth it retains. Perhaps a memory surfaces of someone who gifted it, or a time when its softness offered solace. Simultaneously, a subtle feeling arises, a calm, a sense of safety, a whisper of gratitude. In one simple object, multiple layers of reality converge, inviting you to rest in the richness of experience and the intimacy of awareness. You notice that attention itself is the key to revealing these layers. A soft focus allows one dimension to emerge more clearly while another recedes. When you watch the flicker of light through the window, you can see the physical movement of branches, the mental imagery of their shapes, and the emotional resonance of calm they evoke. Your awareness becomes a gentle guide, shifting gracefully between layers, observing the delicate choreography of perception. Reality is not a single truth, but a softly interwoven spectrum of perspectives, each dependent on the interplay between attention, context, and feeling. As your awareness deepens, you begin to sense the subtle boundaries dissolving. The forest in your mind is no longer separate from the room, the night, or your own body. You notice that the physical, mental, and emotional layers are in dialogue with one another. Your breath becomes a thread connecting inner and outer experience. Each heartbeat resonates through the layers, each memory touches sensation, each emotion colors perception. The edges of reality soften, revealing an intimate, dynamic continuum rather than rigid separations. You ponder the vastness of these layers, extending beyond the immediate. Just as your inner mind shifts and interprets, so too does the world around you participate in its own layers. Air currents ripple in patterns too subtle for the eye to detect. Light bends and scatters, carrying information across space and time. Tiny interactions between particles, molecules, and organisms create cascading effects, like soft ripples spreading across a still pond. Reality is a network of interwoven layers, continuously shifting and adapting, each layer influencing the others in gentle, intricate patterns. Your awareness drifts to the way your consciousness navigates these layers in time. Moments stretch and compress depending on focus, memory, and emotion. A single breath can contain both past and present, thought and sensation, longing and serenity. You feel how deeply perception and experience are intertwined, how the layering of reality mirrors the layers within your own mind and body. Each glance, each breath, each soft shift of attention reveals something previously unnoticed, inviting curiosity and gentle reflection without urgency. Even at the scale of relationships, you sense the layered nature of reality. Interactions with others involve physical presence, shared mental understanding, and emotional resonance. Every conversation, gesture, and touch carries multiple layers of significance, creating a web of shared experience that stretches across space and time. You realize that connection is not a simple matter of physical proximity, but an intricate layering of perception, thought, and feeling, extending outward in soft, imperceptible waves. You feel a sense of wonder at the quiet complexity of these layers. The world is not a single plane, but a multi-dimensional tapestry, each layer offering subtle information, gentle guidance, and tender insight. You rest in the knowledge that reality is patient, layered, and rich, revealing its depths gradually. To those who observe with curiosity, calm, and care, your awareness moves freely, softly shifting focus, tracing patterns, and discovering resonance. Embracing the elegance of these interwoven dimensions, you notice that your own thoughts can ripple across layers, altering perception in unexpected ways. A memory of warmth may brighten the visual layer of the room. A gentle anticipation may soften the physical sensations of your body. Even a quiet sadness can deepen the richness of awareness, creating patterns that are uniquely yours. Reality, therefore, is participatory. You are both observer and creator, gently shaping the perception of layers with every breath and every heartbeat. The interplay of layers encourages patience and presence. You rest in the gentle unfolding, observing one dimension, then another, without hurry or expectation. There is no need to rush through reality. Each layer reveals itself at its own pace. You notice the beauty in this unfolding, the quiet poetry of experience, the gentle interweaving of physical, mental, and emotional dimensions. You feel a growing intimacy with reality itself, a tender knowing that depth is found not in force, but in observation, attention, and subtle curiosity. And as you breathe, your awareness drifts further into the quiet richness of layered reality. You sense that the fabric of existence is composed of endless dimensions, interlaced with threads of perception, thought, and feeling. The veil between what is external and what is internal softens, allowing you to rest in the calm intimacy of interconnected layers. With each soft exhalation, you feel a deeper integration, a sense that your mind and body are floating gently in the multi-dimensional currents of existence, ready to explore the next subtle layer waiting beyond, the hidden structures of space, and the invisible forces that guide motion, rhythm, and harmony. Stars mirror your curiosity. Galaxies echo your stillness. You float in a night sky of imagination and science, contemplating how vastness and minuteness reflect one another. Reality feels infinite and intimate all at once. As you drift further, the universe becomes a quiet companion, sharing its secrets with you in soft resonance. You lie quietly, letting your awareness drift outward beyond the familiar walls of your room, beyond the contours of your body, into a vast expanse of thought and imagination. The night stretches infinitely, a canvas dotted with pinpricks of light, each star a distant sun, each flickering a whisper of history spanning millions of years. You sense the stillness of space, yet within it, there is movement. Planets orbit. Galaxies spin. Light travels along paths shaped by gravity. You float gently in this cosmic quiet, your mind and body aligned with the rhythm of the universe. As your awareness expands, you notice the patterns that link the microcosm and macrocosm. The orbit of electrons around a nucleus mirrors, in a delicate way, the orbit of planets around a star. Spirals of galaxies echo the whirls of seashells, the swirls and the lines of your fingerprints, the curves of your own heartbeat. In this reflection, the universe seems both enormous and intimately connected to you. You feel a tender resonance, as though the cosmos and your consciousness are quietly conversing through patterns, motion, and rhythm. You begin to imagine the journey of light itself, traveling across unimaginable distances to reach your eyes. Each photon carries a story from a distant star, a fragment of cosmic history that arrives in silence. When you sense it, you are not only observing a distant world, you are participating in its story. The moment of perception is a meeting between your awareness and the universe, a gentle intersection of the immense and the intimate. You breathe with this realization, feeling the soft intimacy of connection across time and space. The universe, in its vastness, seems to mirror the inner spaces of your mind. Thoughts and reflections drift like galaxies. Ideas orbit around central insights, and patterns of curiosity spiral outward, touching distant reaches of understanding. You feel that your imagination, your awareness, is an echo of the cosmos itself, a small, tender reflection of the structures that govern stars and planets, matter and energy. The quiet vastness outside mirrors the quiet expanses within, creating a sense of continuity between your inner world and the outer universe. As you float in this awareness, you notice that the tiniest details are inseparable from the grandest. Scales. A flicker of starlight reflects atomic transitions, subatomic energy shifting and vibrating in perfect harmony. The motion of your own body depends on forces that are, in essence, cosmic gravity, electromagnetism, the energy that binds molecules and guides particles. Every breath, every heartbeat, every gentle thought participates in the ongoing flow of the universe, threading together the infinitely small and the infinitely vast in a subtle, unbroken pattern. You reflect on time as it stretches across cosmic scales. Light from distant galaxies has traveled millions, even billions, of years to reach your perception. You are seeing the past, a tender echo that only now meets your awareness. And yet, in this meeting, the past and present blend softly. You understand that time in the universe is not simply linear but relational, shaped by motion, gravity, and observation. Your perception becomes a bridge, connecting moments separated by incomprehensible spans, reminding you that your experience is entwined with cosmic rhythms far beyond the immediate. The night sky is not silent. It speaks in subtle waves, in the hum of cosmic microwave background radiation, in the soft gravitational waves traveling through space-time. Though imperceptible to ordinary senses, these vibrations carry the memory of the universe itself. You imagine your own body resonating with these gentle motions, the tides of your blood echoing the pull of distant celestial bodies, the patterns of thought flowing in response to rhythms that extend far beyond the room. You are part of a symphony, both immense and delicate, a note in a melody composed over eons. As your attention drifts, you notice the reflections of your own inner universe in the night sky. Each star and galaxy becomes a mirror for your awareness, a gentle reminder that vastness and minuteness are intertwined. Your curiosity, like the light from distant stars, travels through the expanse of your mind, illuminating hidden corners and expanding softly into understanding. You sense that the universe is not only something you observe, it is a companion in your reflection, responding in subtle ways to the questions and wonders that rise within you. You feel the interweaving of scales, the motion of planets echoing, patterns in your breathing, the cycle of day and night mirrored in the rhythm of thought, the spinning of galaxies resonating with the cycles of memory and anticipation. The cosmos seems to teach patience, persistence, and harmony, offering a quiet example of how motion, force, and energy interact seamlessly across layers of space and time. You rest in this awareness, feeling both infinitesimal and inseparable from the ongoing story of existence. Even in the stillness of observation, you sense movement and change. Stars are born, live, and die, sending matter outward to seed new systems. Black holes curve space-time, invisible yet profoundly present. Cosmic forces stretch and pull, shaping matter, energy, and light in tender, intricate ways. In the midst of all this, you feel the resonance of impermanence and continuity, the quiet reminder that reality is a living flow in which every part, no matter how small or distant, contributes to the unfolding. You reflect on the hidden interactions that govern cosmic balance. Gravity, electromagnetic forces, and the interplay of matter and energy create the scaffolding for galaxies, solar systems, and planets. Yet these forces are imperceptible in everyday life, subtle, constant, and essential. Your body, too, participates in these currents, responding to gravity, air, light, and the chemical rhythms that maintain life. You feel an intimacy in understanding that the universe is not separate from you. Rather, it includes you as a gentle, integrated participant in its ongoing dance. As your consciousness drifts, the scale of time and space feels both infinite and tenderly immediate. Light years stretch across your imagination, yet each photon touches your perception in the present moment. Matter and energy move in complex patterns, yet their effects manifest gently and continuously in ways you can sense, feel, and reflect upon. The contrast between cosmic vastness and intimate awareness brings a soft clarity, a soothing harmony that quiets the mind while opening it to wonder. You notice the elegance of symmetry and pattern across cosmic structures. Spiral galaxies echo, the fluidity of water currents, planetary rings shimmer like delicate threads, and the motion of stars resonates with principles of balance and rhythm. Your mind, naturally seeking connection and meaning, finds comfort in these patterns. You recognize that the universe, in its vast complexity, possesses an underlying order, a tender architecture that invites both curiosity and serenity. Even as you float in this awareness, you feel the reciprocity of observation. Just as you watch the universe, in a sense, watches back through the structures and forces it has created. The meeting of your consciousness with distant starlight becomes a quiet acknowledgement of connection. You are not merely an observer. You are a participant, a note in the cosmic resonance, a reflection of patterns that stretch across both space and time. You sense that your attention is a bridge between scales, a gentle thread connecting the finite and the infinite. Each thought, each moment of awareness, each wave of curiosity ripples outward, mirroring the flows of energy in galaxies, stars, and particles alike. In the quiet night, the cosmos and your consciousness reflect each other, a tender interplay between external vastness and internal depth. Reality feels at once expansive and intimately close, a gentle continuum in which you are woven seamlessly. And now, as you rest in the calm resonance of cosmic reflection, you notice that even the smallest particles and the largest galaxies share patterns of connection, rhythm, and influence. You feel a quiet serenity in knowing that the infinite universe is mirrored within you, and that your curiosity, your stillness, and your awareness are part of the tender flow of existence. You drift further into this understanding, the cosmos, softly cradling your attention, inviting you to explore what subtle forces shape the curves of space, the paths of stars, and the invisible flow that binds everything together. Reality may never be fully grasped, yet you rest in its embrace. Questions linger like gentle waves, and your mind learns to dwell in uncertainty with wonder. Tonight, you drift with curiosity as your guide, surrendering to the quiet mystery that surrounds and forms you. Sleep carries you into the unknown with calm. You lie quietly, feeling the soft rhythm of your breath, the gentle ebb and flow of awareness. Around you, the world is hushed, yet within the silence, there is richness, depth, and subtle motion. Reality, you sense, is not a simple answer to be grasped or a shape to be contained. It is a quiet mystery, always extending, always inviting you to explore without urgency. You rest in this understanding, letting your mind float like a leaf on a calm river, carried by gentle curiosity and soft wonder. Even as your body feels the firmness of the mattress beneath, you notice that perception itself is fluid. Thoughts arise like clouds drifting across the sky. Memories shimmer like reflections on water, and sensations ripple subtly through your limbs. Each experience reminds you that reality is layered, dynamic, and sometimes ineffable. You do not need to define it, measure it, or capture it fully. You simply observe, participate, and allow the unfolding to be gentle, soothing, and expansive. You think of the questions that arise quietly in the mind. How does the universe hold itself together? What invisible forces guide the dance of stars, the paths of particles, the curvature of space and time? Even the simplest act of awareness, feeling the warmth of your hand, noticing the rise and fall of your chest, reminds you of the intricate balance that sustains existence. There is elegance in this mystery, a quiet poetry that does not demand comprehension, but invites attention and reflection. Your awareness drifts outward, contemplating the cosmos and the vastness you have glimpsed. You feel the gentle tug of gravity, the subtle flow of energy, the persistent, invisible laws that shape motion and matter. Yet even as science provides explanation, you sense that understanding is never total. The universe holds secrets beyond observation, and this unknown is not frightening. It is tender, inviting, and protective, a soft envelope that cradles curiosity. You rest in this space where knowing and wondering coexist in harmony. Within this quiet mystery, you notice the intricate connections that thread the universe together. Particles respond to forces, Stars are born from clouds of gas. Planets trace arcs through gravitational fields, and life emerges in patterns, both delicate and resilient. You feel the unity of these forces reflected within yourself. Your thoughts interact with memories, your breath interacts with heartbeat, your emotions interact with sensation. The unseen connections stretch across the cosmos and within your own body, reminding you that mystery is not absence, but intimacy waiting to be recognized. Your mind softens further, contemplating the unknown aspects of consciousness itself. Thoughts, perceptions, and feelings rise and fall with subtle impermanence. Even as you reflect on reality's vastness, you recognize that your awareness is a delicate instrument, attuned to observation, sensitive to the soft nuances of being. You sense that consciousness is both a lens and a participant, and the mystery lies not in something external, but in the infinite interplay between observer and observed, between noticing and existing. You drift into the rhythm of gentle reflection, feeling your thoughts as waves lapping quietly against the shore of your awareness. Some waves carry memories, some carry questions, some simply carry the present, unfolding softly in each breath. The quiet mystery of life is like this water, fluid, unpredictable, tender, and endlessly rich. You do not need to catch each ripple. You simply float alongside it, aware and at peace, allowing the currents of wonder to guide you gently. Even in the microcosm, you sense mystery. Particles flicker, energy shifts, and quantum phenomena remind you that certainty is elusive. Yet this uncertainty is not threatening. It is delicate, beautiful, and intimate. Each atom in your body, each molecule in the air, each photon that reaches your eyes participates in this soft, ongoing enigma. You rest in the awareness that not knowing fully is a form of calm presence, a recognition that life and reality are lived more fully when embraced rather than pinned down. You reflect on time and space, both tangible and mysterious. Moments arrive and dissolve, memories linger like soft echoes, and space stretches beyond perception. Your own awareness travels gently within these dimensions, moving between past and present, between inner sensation and outer observation. The quiet mystery is never oppressive. It is expansive, a soft horizon that encourages exploration without urgency, contemplation without exhaustion, and presence without expectation. You imagine the delicate balance of forces at work in every corner of existence. Gravity holds stars and planets in motion. Electromagnetism binds atoms into molecules, and subtle nuclear forces govern the tiniest scales. Even within your own body, unseen systems maintain rhythm, equilibrium, and life itself. The mystery is that these forces are constant yet unseen, reliable yet intangible. You feel a profound tenderness in recognizing that the world's quiet order is mirrored within you, a soft resonance of continuity and care. Your mind drifts to the interplay between certainty and curiosity. Science provides frameworks, equations, and explanations, yet beyond every formula lies something ungraspable, a space where imagination, reflection, and wonder reside. You rest in this balance, appreciating the comfort of knowledge alongside the gentle intrigue of the unknown. The quiet mystery is not a puzzle to be solved. It is a companion that accompanies your awareness, softening the edges of certainty and deepening the appreciation of each fleeting moment. Even as you drift closer to sleep, the mystery stretches outward. Galaxies continue their silent rotations. Particles shift in imperceptible patterns. Forces ripple across space-time. Your mind, like a calm observer, participates without demanding control. You sense that rest itself is part of this continuum, a gentle alignment with rhythms that extend far beyond the conscious mind. The universe, in its quiet persistence, mirrors your own capacity for awareness, patience, and soft curiosity. You contemplate the small acts of everyday wonder, the warmth of a hand, the soft rise and fall of breath, the gentle flicker of light. the tender resonance of thought. Each of these experiences carries layers of mystery, threads that connect you to the broader universe, to time, to consciousness itself. You realize that embracing uncertainty is not a lack, but an invitation to presence. The quiet mystery surrounds you in every gesture, every sensation, every soft ripple of thought. Even as consciousness relaxes, you sense the interweaving of inner and outer mysteries. Your mind is a microcosm, the universe a macrocosm. Your breath is a rhythm echoing cosmic flows, your heartbeat a pulse akin to planetary orbits. You float within this realization, a gentle participant in an ongoing dance of awareness and existence. The mystery does not diminish with familiarity. It deepens, providing comfort, wonder, and a soft embrace that carries you toward rest. You notice that questions need not be answered to be meaningful. They can exist as gentle companions, guiding attention, reflection, and curiosity. What shapes the unseen forces that guide reality? How does consciousness arise in the midst of matter? Where do beginnings and endings meet? These questions linger like soft, gentle waves, their rhythm calming rather than urgent, their presence inviting rather than demanding. You rest in them, allowing each one to resonate quietly through mind, body, and awareness. In this state, the quiet mystery feels like a companion, a soft, tender presence that neither imposes nor disappears. You sense it in the rhythm of breath, in the gentle cadence of thought, in the subtle textures of sensation. Reality need not be fully grasped to be felt, known, or appreciated. You drift in this awareness, wrapped in the calm invitation of uncertainty, floating in a gentle liminal space where questions and wonder coexist effortlessly. And as sleep begins to brush the edges of consciousness, you feel a soft surrender, a gentle alignment with the unknown. The quiet mystery cradles your mind, whispering softly that rest, curiosity, and wonder are not separate. They are intertwined in the tender unfolding of being. You let go, trusting that each breath, each moment, and each soft reflection carries you deeper into the calm embrace of reality's infinite, ungraspable, and tenderly mysterious nature. As we gently come to the close of this journey into what is reality, take a moment to let these ideas settle in your mind. Reality is not just what you see, but what you perceive, what you feel, and what your consciousness allows you to experience. Every thought, every observation, every quiet reflection is part of the intricate tapestry that shapes your understanding of the world. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like this video to show your support and subscribe to our channel so you can continue traveling with us into the mysteries of science, mind, and existence. Your comments mean a lot. Share your own insights, questions, or experiences about what reality feels like to you. We love building a space where curiosity meets reflection. Remember, reality is a journey, not a destination. Let your mind continue to wander, to wonder, and to embrace the mysteries that surround you. Until next time, keep observing, keep questioning, and let the quiet marvels of existence gently guide you.